I'm going to be going to Six Flags St. Louis for the first time since a very long time ago.
Oh, you went a couple of winters ago.
I think it was 2 or 3 winters ago. I did go for their Holiday in the Park event.
But it was freezing cold, right?
6 degrees, I think, was the high that while we were there. And every roller coaster was down. So we rode the Carousel, we rode Justice League, and we watched the Jesus show. They have like a very religious, like the only show that they had was a very religious, like indoor, the story. Basically the story.
Christmas story. Yeah.
The whole, you get it. And that was our experience. And then I'm trying to think, I think I went a few years before that, but I don't remember it. I think I went with my ex-girlfriend and we rode some rides, but I don't remember anything about it. The only good memory I have of good coaster riding was when you and I went.
Yeah, that was back in 2009. Yeah, that's the last time I went to Six Flags St. Louis, and I mean that was so long ago. I had earrings back then. Earrings.
Like a buzzed head, and
yeah.
This was you and I were 18, 19.
Yeah, it would have been 19. Yeah, it was the year before. This was kind of technically almost like our first coaster trip together. Before the big one in 2010, this is kind of where we were testing the waters a little bit, and we went with an odd crew. I mean, we had Jeff there, and then we had this we had a guy named Mark, and then was it
Mark? Mark listens to the show now, by the way.
He does. That's what's
up.
So
shout out to Mark and Gurney, Illinois, because you love Gurney. Gurney, yes. Illinois is your place to be. And then we went with 2 other guys,
Tom and Ivan.
Yeah, that's right.
I haven't talked to Tom and Ivan in years.
No, me either.
Yeah.
But we went, and it was like a day trip. It was just like 18-year-old dudes just really causing a ruckus and just riding rides. I remember I got my 50th roller coaster credit on that ride. That's how long ago it was.
Was it Evel Knievel, because that's what it was themed to? What's it called now? Is it still Evel Knievel? I don't think so, right?
It's not. It's American Thunder. I have to look it up every time.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Still call it Evel Knievel because I haven't really rode it since.
I remember when we went there, we got stuck on the Scooby-Doo dark ride.
Yes.
Yeah, and then our boat was about to start sinking, and then they sent their international employees. There's these real sweet girls, probably from Hong Kong. I don't know exactly where they're from, but really petite, and they were they just started laughing because they're we're not gonna go get this boat out. And why did they send you instead of maintenance? And they're bouncing between boat about to fall in the water. It was the most unsafe thing ever.
I remember we literally stood up and tried to go ahead and rock the boat and unwedge ourselves.
Yeah,
and they didn't really say anything because they were saying, I don't know.
Yeah,
because wasn't it the gate we got stuck on?
Yeah, our boat kind of dipped down and kind of got stuck in the gate a little bit, and then we had to stand up and wiggle it, and then there was a group of our friends also in front of us or behind us, one of the two, and they were reaching over trying to pull us loose while and
they recorded it.
Yeah, and the international girls were just kind of watching us and stuff. We'll I think there's a photo of that on our Facebook or something like that, our personal Facebook. So we'll find those photos and we'll post them on Instagram. So
yeah, that'd be a good find for sure. Gosh, I'm so sad that Six Flags St. Louis replaced that with another dark ride. They should have coexisted. Definitely. It would have been so nice to see 2 dark rides at that park, because that was a fun ride. It was a kind of like an old school system that boats get stuck on quite a bit. So that's probably why they took it out, to be honest.
Probably. But that was probably one of the coolest memories. I kind of forgot all about that till we just started talking about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But I can't remember much else from that trip outside of it being super hot. We went and ate at White Castle, and I think that's the last time I ate at White Castle.
Yeah, that was the last time I ate at White. Yeah, we did almost a 45-minute detour, right, to go to White Castle?
To go to White Castle.
Yeah. And I remember you and I, we got it, and we're just okay. And there's probably a big White Castle following in the community. I could already feel that there's some people that love White Castle, but it was very underrated in our books. So
yes, that is for sure. Yeah. And then we went back to the park and it was hot out and we had White Castle fueling our bodies. It was not a good idea.
I remember we rode the Ferris wheel. I remember that, the 4 dudes, or maybe our whole crew was in one carriage or something like that.
I think we all could have fit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just so fun to reminisce about the times where the only worry in our world were day tripping to Six Flags St. Louis.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this feels like.
And probably working at Worlds of Fun the next day. Like,
yes.
And it was no big deal.
Opening.
Yeah.
No, we got it. That's the reason we win, even, is because we got into the park for free.
Yeah, we did.
I've never paid for a ticket to Six Flags St. Louis.
Except tomorrow.
No, I got free tickets from somebody.
Hey, there you go.
I hit up a good friend of mine. He still works at the parks. So.
There you go.
But so Six Flags St. Louis, I was thinking about this. It's like, it's been so long since I've truly ridden these rides and ranked them and had any experience, because I was, I had last visit where I really rode coasters. I'd only ridden like 50 coasters. So I haven't been able to really appropriately rank them in my rankings. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of interested to see kind of just what you felt the top 3 roller coasters were there, because the coaster lineup is not fantastic.
It is not.
Very vanilla, very no standouts, I would even say. So I wanted to see kind of what yours were, and then maybe on next week's show I could talk about my new top 3.
Yeah, and really, and just full disclosure, when I rode these, I didn't really know much about roller coasters. I mean, I worked at Worlds of Fun, and that summer, I worked at Mamba in 2008, and then that summer I was working at Patriot. But I still didn't really know any details, minus the 2 rides I used to work at. I kind of knew about that, but I didn't really know anything about that. So my list might just be very off of what I remember I had fun on, and you might judge one of them. I think I have a feeling you're going to judge one of them for sure.
Oh, no, I just realized what you're going to say, and I left it off mine, and I'm kind of sad about it.
So I'm going to put number 3 for me is going to be Ninja. What? I know.
Is that what you Ninja?
Yep.
The worst one of the worst coasters at the park you have at number 3.
I agree. Yeah, this is where, just looking at it, yes, it's a terrible coaster, but I just remember riding it and I was like, it was the most it was interesting to me at the time. Now, knowing about it, I'm like, yeah, this thing sucks. But I remember riding, I was like, okay, that wasn't great, but I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a very interesting coaster. It's something I never really been on until that time, and it was. It goes on my number 3 because it was just very interesting to me.
I will say, even now, if you look back, it's a traveling Vekoma looping roller coaster, and the layout is just so high off the ground. It's like a very small drop, a vertical loop, a turnaround, and some corkscrews. But there's interesting head choppers with the lift chain.
Yeah, that's the one thing I remember the most was I was like, what the hell was that? I'll be almost at the chain.
That doesn't even seem like it should be a thing.
Yeah.
But it is. That's an interesting number 3. Yeah. I did not expect you to say that. Not one bit. For my number 3, I'm now going to knock it off, because I originally had Mr. Freeze, but I forgot their Mine Train coaster. I actually think, I forget the name of it, but their Mine Train coaster was a lot of fun. I just remember trying to reach out and grab leaves on it. And judging by your face, I don't even think you remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm looking at RC, the River King Mine Train.
River King Mine Train. And this was a ride that I believe used to be at Dollywood and one other park. I think it was Six Flags Over Texas, maybe. I think Six Flags Over Texas may have been a dueling at one point.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this now. We rode this over and over again.
Yeah. And so I'm going to put that on my number 3. I forgot it existed, and now I'm really excited to ride the Mine Train. This was our first Mine Train, though. Maybe at Cedar Point we had ridden at that point.
No, because no, I don't remember. If I did, I don't remember, because the first time I went to Cedar Point besides 2010 was back in 2003. And that was way before I knew anything about roller coasters. So we may have rode it, but I don't think we did, because it was a really busy day when we went. And I think we didn't do the Mine Train. So I think my first time going on it was with you in 2010 at Cedar Point.
You honestly only had probably 25 credits.
Yes.
Went to this park.
I had Worlds of Fun, a decent amount at Cedar Point, Sodar City, Celebration City.
Oh, I forgot about those.
And I think that's about it at that point.
So maybe a little bit more.
Actually, and I had some of the credits at Six Flags St. Louis already, because I went back in 8th grade, I want to say,
Oh,
to
wow.
Six Flags St. Louis. So that was my second time going to this park. But I don't remember much about that. All I remember was I got super scared to ride Batman. I remember that. So maybe I was 8th grade. I might have been younger than that. So who knows?
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
I remember being scared riding Batman because that was my first invert. I remember being like pretty terrified of the ride. And now it's like you're annoyed to see Batman. By the way, Batman's my number 2.
I would say Batman's my number 2 as well.
Which it's kind of sad because this is a clone at almost every Six Flags park, and it's the number 2 ride there. Just says a lot about their coaster lineup, but it is an intense ride.
Yeah, in my defense, like this was my first Batman clone, so like this was kind of where it started for me. So I kind of rank it higher than the other ones because it was the first one I've been on. So
yeah, that's true. But it's intense. It's good. It's a Batman clone. Like you can't say much about it. I think it's a mirrored Batman clone for what that's worth. But I do like how the queue interacts with the ride. I remember my first time riding this thing. We waited 2.5 to 3 hours because I went on my very first visit. Also was like in high school, and we went on like 4th of July weekend. And this is the longest wait I've ever had for a coaster.
All I remember about this park is like the queues are just ridiculously long for no damn reason. Like,
no reason at all.
Yeah. I know going on the Boss, like you literally have to hike a mile just to get there. And that's without the extended queue. Like it's just like, where are we going?
I don't even think you could rewrite it if you wanted to, because it's like a quarter-mile walk from the exit to the entrance.
Yeah, it's not worth it. So
and that ride sucks to begin with. Yeah. It's not even on my top 5 anymore. What was your one?
My number 1 is Boomerang Psych. No, it's gonna be Mr. Freeze now, and I only say this because I know it's not the best coaster in the world by any means, but I was the most excited about this one. Like when I first went there, and I remember riding as a kid with my grandpa and stuff, and then going back, and I still this day I actually enjoy riding Mr. Freeze's, and I loved it. It was one of the first like heavily themed ride. Mine is Batman too at this park, but like that I really kind of saw like you going into this like factory and stuff, and it kind of like the AC's going, and it was just cool seeing the station track kind of move back and forth and everything. So I just had like a lot of nostalgia to it. Is it the best coaster there? Like, no, I'll probably put your number 1. Your 50th is probably would be the best coaster there, but just from what I enjoyed the most looking back, like if I went tomorrow with you, it would be a completely different list. I already know. But just going off of what I remember, what I enjoyed, this is how it looks. So
nice, dude. And yeah, my number 1 is what you kind of hinted towards is American Thunder. It's their GCI roller coaster. It's really mid-tier. Like I just remember it not being impressive, but not being bad.
And that's probably why I don't think it was high on my list, because when we did ride it, I was like, I didn't know much about coasters, and I was like, okay, that was cool. Like, it just wasn't anything that wrote home to me.
Also, Prowler kicked the shit out of it at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was brand new, and the terrain and all that. This very much feels like we found a flat piece of land, and we put this GCI roller coaster on it. And that's that. But I do know, like, the one thing I vaguely remember from the last time I rode it, it had gotten pretty rough at the time. It sounds like it's doing okay now from what I hear from, like, YouTube reviews. But I don't know that I can trust it.
You have to let us know how it is.
Yeah. Actually, what I'm actually most excited to ride, this is going to sound weird, but I'm excited to ride Screaming Eagle again.
Interesting.
Not even on my list, but people are riding it and saying it's smooth. It's a fun out and back. There's plenty of airtime. I don't believe it, but I'm excited to figure out if that's the case now, because it sounds like it might be one of the top 3 rides at that park now.
What I want to ride, and like I still haven't been on, is the Justice League. It's not a coaster, but yeah, I need to get on one of those. Like,
they are fun.
Yeah.
I will say, man, I'm so, like, it's a good clone. They are. Every time I go, I want to ride it. I think it's going to be closed tomorrow. I don't think Six Flags St. Louis has reopened theirs because it's indoors.
Because COVID is killing people indoors. Yeah.
But like some parks have been able to reopen them, so it's like it's odd. I think it has to do with state regulations.
That and maybe staffing too.
Something to think about.
Yeah. But they're going to call it state regulations.
That's right. Oh, man.
So what are you looking forward to for tomorrow? Like, because you're also going for the Halloween event that's going on.
I am. So actually for coaster related, I'm just interested in rewriting all the coasters. Like I want to rewrite them all, give them another ranking. The only one I'm really kind of okay with skipping would be like Pandemonium, just because I know what those ride like.
And Boomerang.
And Boomerang, because I got that credit at Six Flags Over Texas. I forget that's there.
Yeah. I was like, you're going to really ride that, but okay.
So I am excited for that and just to be able to appropriately rank them, I would say.
So what are you looking forward to for the Halloween portion?
All right. So my expectations cannot be lower. So I'm thinking about, for this, if there are events, because I've never actually been to it. I've been to one event at Six Flags St. Louis, and this was it was Holiday in the Park. And I was born and raised on holiday events through Six Flags Over Georgia, if you could say born and raised, in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
And it was so well done. They brought in like outside vendors and they really just poured a lot of money into this event because in that climate, you don't have to worry about the rides really going down. So you can really open a lot of rides and have people come for this event. Six Flags St. Louis, that was not the case. We went, it was 6 degrees out, no coasters were open, and anything else they had to offer was a Jesus show. And that was it. They had no other entertainment. You could do like s'mores. The lights, you could tell, were just hung up by seasonal operations team members, and they just tried their best, but they just didn't have a lot of money, and it really showed. And I am worried because I watched a video about Six Flags Over Georgia's Hallowfest looking awesome. I look at what they have to offer online, and here's what they have during the day. They have a trick-or-treat trail for those 12 and under. They have Dead Man's Party selfies, so you can take a selfie with people from the sing and dance show that they do after the show, socially distanced. And then the other daytime offering they're offering is skeleton photo snaps, where they just have cardboard cutouts of skeletons with the hashtag, and you take the picture, put it on social, and they might share it.
Is it like they'll put your head through the hole, then your body's a skeleton type thing?
I'm assuming. I'm not really sure, but I also don't know if you can do that during COVID.
Yeah.
So like I'm not expecting that to be much of anything at all. That's what they have during the day. Now, they will have their scare zones, but they advertise that as nighttime stuff, but they do it immediately when opened. And they're only going to have 3 scare zones. So they've got backlot creatures, which is like a science experiment gone wrong. So that could be anything. Just kind of mutated things walking around probably.
Yeah.
Clowns at the Blacktop, which is an easy scare zone theme that
of course
you can get creative with.
Yeah.
There could be some daytime shows there that they're not talking about, but I'm not expecting that. And then Vampire Lair, which is going to be a vampire thing. And
the daylight, first off, vampires aren't supposed to be out in the daylight, and they're going to have that scare zone open. That's just killing the story already.
Maybe they'll find a way to darken it, or they'll have umbrellas maybe, but I doubt it.
They have umbrellas. That'd be hilarious.
That's what they do at Worlds of Fun for Lure of the Vampire. If they're walking through the park, they have to carry an umbrella with them during the day. So
it makes sense. They can't be in the sunlight. So
yeah. So those are the 3. They call it freak encounters that are really scare zones. But I think what's going to happen is they're just going to be behind fences or in cages so that they can't physically get close to you and try to scare you. So I'll be interested to see. I think that they're trying is cool, that they're trying to add some sort of fright, but I think they're going to underdeliver to where they should have just focused that money on just making it friendly daytime, family friendly, and amp that up because their daytime offering looks weak.
Yeah.
But they also are going to have 2 shows, Dead Man's Party and Love at First Fright, which are going to be at their outdoor venues. I'll be interested to see kind of how they handle crowds for that, or if this is going to be like a very abbreviated show that they do more often. It's just going to be interesting to see. All right, so going back to Six Flags, St. Louis, and your past visits, my past visits, what would you say that park needs to improve on?
So it's been years since I've been there. I don't know when I was reading this question, I think the biggest thing is just like energy. Now, granted, this could have changed since I've been there, but like, I don't know. I just felt like, you go to Sodor City around here, and maybe because I was biased because I worked at Worlds of Fun, but I just felt like there's more energy and like the employees seem more into it at those parks versus Six Flags St. Louis. And yeah, I mean, I think that would just instantly make it better, even though it needs some better rides, of course. But I think just starting there would change it. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe things have gotten better when it comes to that. It's been 11 years since I've been there, but I mean, that's the biggest takeaway. I don't know. I'll have to see how things are going now. I'm curious to see what your take is. On our next show, we got to ask you the same question and see what your thoughts are after going to the park tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, so for me, the park needs to improve they need a signature coaster. They just got to have it. Like something that's going to be like, get you excited to go. Whether that's GCIing the boss, RMCing the boss, doing something to the boss. That would be a good idea.
Get rid of the boss.
Get rid of the boss, put in a hyper coaster. They're missing a hyper coaster. Where the hell is their hyper coaster?
Yeah,
I don't know. Just
every Six Flags park pretty much has one.
Yeah. It just seems like they have an overabundance of wooden coasters that are very bland to bad. And I just don't understand why they haven't gotten an RMC yet.
What's their newest coaster?
American Thunder. Then you have Screaming Eagle and you have Boss.
Wow, that's insane.
And then a mine coaster that kind of feels like a wooden coaster.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the variety? They put some clones in for variety. They need a coaster lineup love. They need some paint, and they need to amp up their events, is what I'm going to say they need to improve on. I have heard good reviews about their employees recently, so maybe that's changed. I'll let you know.
Yeah, and good to see what's going to happen after you visit the park.
If you're a Six Flags St. Louis employee, I'm coming for you. You won't be able to hear this as a warning because I'll already have been to the park when you hear this. But I will be watching.
We're coming.